Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to our channel. So, this video is long overdue. I'm so sorry. I thought I was going to be able to go live last week, but I actually traveled. I don't know what I was thinking. I traveled last weekend, Labor Day weekend, got back Monday. It just didn't happen. So, I'm happy I'm here today. I'm so excited for this live. It's one of my favorite lives to do because I kind of get to look back on my journey and kind of see how sorry, I'm just liking that video, kind of see how far I've come. And I always like to watch the last one. This is my cup from my dentist. Shout out to Dr. Dawson. Looking for a dentist. Dr. Dawson, she's like in Mid Hill Matthews area. But I just can't take myself serious. But yeah, so I just like this video because I get to do a lot of reflection. I get to look back at the past and like I get to look like look back and kind of see how far I've come. And sometimes I don't really give myself that grace. So I don't really give myself that time to be able to do that. It's kind of like just go, go, go. So, yes. So, my thoughts on living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 5 years. Last month, about like exactly 4 weeks ago, made 5 years. I've been living in Charlotte, North Carolina. I still can't believe every time I do these videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, time really flies. And like I'll get pop-ups on my phone, like memories. So it'll show me like, oh, yeah, this happened 5 years ago. And I'm, oh my God, my picture of me on the flight coming here. So I don't really have that much different to say as far as my last video. Only thing I could say is that I did have a moment earlier this year in January, where I almost really last minute moved. And I know people probably won't believe me because I was just, oh, I'm so tired of this place. I want to get out of here. It was January. I went to go visit my sister in Ngazi, the other owner of the channel, for a week. I said, I'm gonna quit my job. And even she was like, don't do that. It doesn't make sense. Because she's like, don't do that. Like you're gonna regret it. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move. I just need to change. I'm tired. My lease is ending. Was it? Yeah, my lease was ending. That's what it was. I think my lease was ending in February. But in January, I was like, I think I'm just gonna move. Who cares? It just didn't feel right. Like it just really, really didn't feel. I'm not even trying to make excuses, but it really, really didn't feel right. I know Guzzy thinks I'm making excuses. I was like, you know what? Let me just, and I'm happy I stayed. I stayed a year at my current job. I found another opportunity. So it all worked out. But a part of me just feels that even though I still do sometimes have that itch of moving, the longer I stay in Charlotte, the harder it will be for me to move, honestly. Just because I'm okay. And I was with my cousins over the weekend. They're like, maybe also you just need a new environment, even in Charlotte, like maybe moving to another part of town or moving to another apartment. Because I have been in the same apartment for 5+ years, and that's quite a lot, quite a while to be in one place. So it could be other factors like that as well. But yeah, it's been 5 years. Actually, 5 years in 1 month. And my thoughts on living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 5 years are I don't even know where to start. Like Atlanta, hey, I was in Atlanta this past weekend. Actually, I put it on the list of one of the possible places I will move. Just because every time I go to Atlanta, I'm just like, why can't Charlotte have this? Why can't Charlotte have this? Why can't Charlotte have this? Like, I feel like Atlanta is so much fun. There's other issues they have going on that I'm not really crazy about. That's another a reason why I'm a bit hesitant about moving there. But Atlanta, I just feel like Atlanta has the vibes. I realize Charlotte doesn't really have the vibes. I'm gonna be honest, at least not my vibes. I don't. Everyone's vibes, definition of vibes, can be different. Atlanta has a vibe. If you want to go to church, like I was wearing like a tube top dress, like, and I wore it to brunch during the day, and I didn't feel any. I'm not explaining it. Like I feel like Atlanta's always like it's always active. Like there's always something to do. Like you can dress up. You're never gonna feel overdressed. Like there's always vibes. There's always things happening. There's always events from church to just chill stuff to networking. I just feel like there's just so much going on there that I wish Charlotte had even just half of it, not the whole thing, just half of it. But yeah, it took me almost 6 hours driving back. So I'm like, yeah, that's another reason why I don't go to Atlanta as much as I used to because it is kind of far. But yeah, so I like Charlotte. Okay. The question, how has Charlotte changed since you moved in 2020? How has it changed? I feel like has become more boring, and I don't think it's just. I think it's both, right? I do think it's because, like, phase of life. I'm getting older. I'm in that age range. Like, when I moved them, I was in my 20s. I'm no longer in my 20s. So guess what I'm in? My 30s. It's maturity. I also think that, at my age group, a lot of people are settling down. A lot of people are starting families. So again, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I can't imagine, like, I'm gonna get married next year. I'm gonna tell y'all when the wedding is, because I can't imagine like being in my 40s and still not being partnered. As much as people don't want to talk about this type of stuff, like most people around you are there, and then you're just like, what do you do? Like, who do you hang out with? Like, are you gonna hang out with married? Okay, let me just be quiet because I'm gonna go on a tangent. But yeah, I think it's also the phase of life that I'm in. Um, a lot of people, as people relocate, people are starting families, people, are going through their own life things. So I'm just at a phase that you have to keep meeting people, you have to keep building. And I think that's in every city. I don't think that's specific to Charlotte. But I can personally say for myself, the longer I've stayed in Charlotte, I've become more comfortable. Like, I don't have that eagerness. I don't have that, oh my God, I don't have any friends. I need to meet people. Where are the people? I don't have that, because it's my comfort zone. It's what I'm used to. I know where to go. I know where not to go. And I'm comfortable. So it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. So I think what a lot of people miss about, they'll be like, oh, I want to, sometimes why moving can be good is that it forces you for the most part to get out your comfort zone. And I think that's what a lot of people need, especially as we get older, because it's just natural as we get older that we like routine. We're a little bit, we're a little bit resistant to change. We're a little bit resistant to things that are different. It's just natural, right? So if you stay somewhere for a long period of time, you just get used to things. And now you kind of take things for granted in a sense, right? Everything is boring. Everything is, oh, I've been there, I've done that. I've seen that. I've seen this. I don't really care for it. Versus now, let's say, for example, me, if I move to Atlanta, oh my goodness, we outside. Like, when I tell you we out, if I move to Atlanta, like, and it's not necessarily bad outside. Maybe some of it will be bad. I don't know. But literally, I don't think, even as the same person as I am now, and I consider myself to be a bit boring and reserved sometimes, if I moved to Atlanta, I'm telling you it would be different. Like, I just know. Same thing with probably Houston, right? I'm not gonna lie. I do think Charlotte is a part of it. I do think Charlotte's small. Now I think I know. I was in Atlanta over the weekend, and the driving, like, one place is like 50 minutes, this place is an hour away. It's still Atlanta zip code. Charlotte, you're not going to drive an hour and still be in Charlotte without traffic. Like, that's not really the norm. Things are actually close. Like in Charlotte, North Carolina, what we consider far, I consider far driving to university living in Uptown. Okay, that's a joke. Like, places I was talking to my friend on Friday when I was like, yo, why don't we go to Fume like that? Why don't we go to there? Even like Stacked, because it's like, to me, that's like the junk, that's like the forest. Mind you, these are places I'm telling you they're 15 minutes away. They're 17 minutes away. Atlanta, oh my gosh. Like, and I hear that's how Houston is, that's how Dallas is. They're bigger cities. So naturally, in a bigger city, what does that mean? More to do, more options, more vibes. Like, that's just natural. It's a bigger city. So when people, like, it just blows me sometimes when I see people keep trying to compare Charlotte. I'm just like, y'all are not, I'm like, y'all are comparing apples and oranges. So maybe that's why I never had like an issue with Charlotte, because I have realistic expectations, right? Like, I have realistic expectations. Also, I came from the suburbs of New Jersey, where Charlotte will always be better than. So for me, I don't have that experience. I didn't come from Manhattan. I didn't come from LA. I didn't come from DC. I didn't come from Lagos. You know what I mean? I didn't come from Accra. I didn't come from like a big city into Charlotte. Like, I definitely think if I did, my experience would be different. But for me, I was coming from a place that's very residential. There wasn't much to do. It's very family friendly. So me, I appreciate the fact that I can live in a city like Charlotte and drive about 4 minutes and have access to stuff to do. That I can walk down the street and go to the grocery store. Like, that's a big deal for me compared to where I was coming. And mind you, I didn't live like in the real New Jersey. I lived in North Jersey, which is considered to be like almost New York. People live where I live and commute to work to New York every day, but I still feel like it was still very residential. it was very, very, very residential. So maybe that's why I don't hate Charlotte like a lot of other people I meet do, or I don't feel like it's so bad because I have a different starting point, right? Same thing with my cousin that's in the chat. Hey, Justina, like, what's mid Jersey, South Jersey. Like, if y'all come to other places, then you guys will value what you have more. But that's just life. It's all about where you're starting from. It's all about what your reference point is. For me, like, I've had my fun. Like, like I've had my days that, like, you would think I'm living in, I don't know, Manhattan. Like, so I do, again, my thoughts, that's I gotta go live more often so I don't get sidetracked. My thoughts on living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 5 years. I feel like Charlotte is okay. I just think you have to have realistic expectation. A lot of people ask me questions. "Oh, I want to move to Charlotte. Where should I go? Is it good for this? Is it good for that?" Research how much your industry pays. Be realistic about that. Because again, if you most likely have lower cost of living, the salary might be lower than what you're used to. I just feel like just be realistic. Just be realistic and have realistic expectations. Like, stop coming to Charlotte thinking you're about to be in Las Vegas or Miami. Like, it's never gonna be that. It's never. If you want Las Vegas vibe, go move to Las Vegas. If you want a Miami vibe, move to Miami. Spend the money. Another thing, people don't want to spend the money, but they want this crazy experience. It just doesn't. It just doesn't add up to me. Spend the money and live in those big cities, which also come with their other issues, but they're going to give you what you want, right? So I just think, it is what it is. I like Charlotte, but I don't necessarily see myself like, I don't feel like I would be here like for another 5 years. Let's just put it that way, right? Like, it's been 5 years. I don't see myself staying here another 5 years. Like, I mean, I don't know. You can never say never, but there's other things I've been thinking about going into that's kind of like, if I move, I would have to start all over in that aspect. I would have to, yeah. If you don't like the place, this is my advice. If you don't like a place, you've been living there a year, just move early. Like, don't even waste too much time. Because as much as you claim you don't like that place, the longer you stay there, trust me, it's just, your life gets more tied into that place, if that makes sense. Like, you would just have more going on. You might want to buy a house. And if you buy a house now, you're not just going to get up and go, right? I mean, I guess you can still just rent it out. But, if you don't like summer, just move early. Let me go through. I don't know where our moderator is. Maybe she's napping. But yes, please like the video and share. Atlanta has that vibe. I don't think it's a place to date. Is anywhere a place to date? What suburb of Jersey were you coming from? I came from Essex County, so I was in the Oranges. Yeah, so it's still close to, yeah. A subscriber left Houston for Charlotte recently. Another subscriber on TikTok said she prefers Charlotte to Houston due to less traffic and better quality of life. Oh, and Guzzy don't want to hear this. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think Charlotte's that bad. Again, do I think it's the best city in America? I really, really don't think so. Only thing I do miss having a better airport. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't travel like that like I used to because I pay rent now. So I mean, where's the traveling money? But I did, like, when I traveled recently and I was at EWR. I stopped at in Newark coming back to go. I stopped in DC, and I was like, oh my gosh! I was just looking at the flights around. Like, when I'm walking through the terminal, I'm like, direct to here, direct to there, direct to there. Like, I missed that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Newark, you could just go. Oh, I'm going to Paris, straight flight. Going to Madrid. I'm going to London. Like, it's just so, and the flights are very, not even that it's direct, it's very affordable. Charlotte has a few straight flights, but the prices are going to be a little higher, and then they won't even run every day. So let's say you want to go to Cabo from Charlotte, American's going to tell you straight flight to Cabo is only on Saturdays. So in order for you to get a direct flight, you got to fly Saturday to Saturday. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's Charlotte. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a huge city. They're not going to fly directly to those places every day. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So I do miss that about living up north. And I would never say never. I always say, like, I don't think it's impossible that I live up north because I was with people from Jersey when I last weekend. Actually, my friend actually did call me before this. I want to send her the live so she'll know. That's why I didn't pick up. She got married in Portugal. And it was so amazing. It was so amazing. I met people there from Jersey, and I kept talking about Jersey, and I think low key they were getting offended. Like, stop saying that about you. That's not true. That's not true. And I'll try and make them understand what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't dislike Jersey. I could move back there one day, but like, for a young person that doesn't have a family, I just feel like it was too boring. And to do anything, you have to go to New York, and like, who wants to go to New York all the time? that also gets old. Like I didn't live in New York, right? So yeah. So Jersey's not. I do miss that. That's what I'm talking about the airport. I really miss having a good airport like that. So cause even so close, because it was like 25, 30 minutes from us in Jersey. We'll just be at Newark Airport. Charlotte Airport is closer to though. It's like 10, 15 minutes from me, but it's not as good of an airport. When is Zara coming to CLT? I don't know. I don't know why you're asking these annoying questions. I don't know. You should call Zara and ask them. But as far as I've heard, I think it's early 2026. The store is already up. It's already there. If you put in the address for Zara, it's going to come up South Park Mall. It's just it hasn't opened. Which metro area do you prefer, Atlanta or Houston? I don't know. Like as far as what to live or for vibes? Which one are you saying? Which one are you asking? Which metro area do you prefer, Atlanta or Houston? What do you dislike most about CLT? I dislike that it's not cultured. That's what I dislike. I wish it was more cultured. I wish it was just it catered more to different people. I'll just leave it at that. That's what I don't like. Miami Beach in the house. Okay, little Nez. What are the women in Charlotte? Are the women in Charlotte intentional or on that ATL hustle culture? What do you mean by intentional? So are you saying women in Atlanta are not intentional? And I'm not really understanding the question that you are asking. Are the women in Charlotte intentional? All I know is that when I go out, this is what I noticed on Saturday. I even told my sister. Saturday I went to a place in Atlanta called Bloom Bar. I kid you not. 70% of the people in Bloom Bar were men. I was like, this could never be Charlotte. Like, I feel like Charlotte, when you go out, there are a lot of women. A lot of women. And I've noticed this over the years. I've been saying this for years. Atlanta, literally, I was like, wow, there's so many men here. Like, I'm just not used to this. I'm really not used to this. So relationship wise, are the women in Charlotte intentional? I think most women I know, I think in any city around my age want to settle down, right? But I guess that's an assumption. Hustle, when you say hustle culture, Atlanta hustle culture, what do you mean? Because women are hustling everywhere. So I'm just trying to really understand your question. What city do you prefer the vibe of, Atlanta or Houston? Me personally, I like Atlanta better. Me and my sister always have the argument. I prefer Atlanta over Houston. Atlanta more men are aggressive. Charlotte is great for men. A lot of women you can move to Houston if you look for diversity. Right. I think that's the main reason. Like, I see why people put the DCs, even in the cold. I see why people pick the Houston, even Atlanta. I see why people pick the Atlantas because it's just hard to get that culture in a lot of places. It's a little difficult. And I know for sure you're going to get it in Houston when you're going to get it in Atlanta, you're going to get it in DC, you're going to get it in Manhattan. Yeah, those places you're going to get it. Houston stand up. Who knows? Maybe Houston 2026. I don't know. So I made a list, right, of places on Sunday with my cousins of places I would consider like moving if I could do top three. I kept changing it for reasons that will leave undisclosed. But I said number one, if I was to move, actually, what was the list? Okay. So number one, I put Houston. Number two was New Jersey. And number three, I put Dallas / Atlanta. Those are like my top I would move to. And it was really I was going back and forth between Dallas and Dallas sounds nice ideally, and I think it's a cute city, but just the fact that I don't have any family there is a reason why it's more it's less of a priority on the list. So it'd be Houston, New Jersey, or Dallas. I don't really think Atlanta. I think I was just excited because I was in Atlanta. I think more of like Dallas. Who knows? Did anyone have any questions? Anyone to join the live? My thoughts on living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 5 years. So yeah, Charlotte's a cute little city, cute starter city. Cute. You want to be low key. You want not much going on. You want a place that is less distractions, but still enough to do. Diverse as far as population wise. I'm just saying because don't get it twisted. Charlotte has a lot of different people here. I just feel like they don't have a lot of stuff that caters to the different people. Does that make sense? Like it's still a very American city. It's not like, but I'm not saying that there's not a variety of people here. I just think if you're here, you kind of have to just blend in with everyone else. It's not that much going on. I'm thinking of visiting Charlotte. Any place that would be good to visit. You ladies should have a public meetup. I think that would be dope. It's funny. Someone else has mentioned that. Any place that would be good to visit. You have to tell me what you're looking for, what you like to do, because I just can't like list stuff because I know what I like. Doesn't necessarily mean what you like. Like what type of vibe, if you talk about like lounges, clubs, like what type of music. So, and I could give you like a quick little itinerary, just put it in the chat what you would want to do. What's the type of experience you would be looking to have? What should people look for moving to a new city? What's more important? Hmm. What should people look for when moving to a new city? What's more important? Of course, number one, I'll probably say like job security, because ultimately you have to pay your bills. I would say after job security, like does that place have a lot of things that interest you or cater to you? Or I don't I don't really know. I think job number one is like job security, cost of living. For me, it was weather. Yeah. Doesn't hustle culture mean ladies finessing men out of money, i.e., sugar babies versus intentional women looking for love? That's what I was getting at, but I don't want to, I don't like to assume things. I like things to be, black and white. So that's what I was assuming. So I don't think that Atlanta, Houston vibe, I don't think you can't get it in Charlotte. From who? The men here, like they're not balling out of control. Like, how are you gonna get that here? So I'm not saying it's not possible because girls are doing things everywhere, but I think in a climate in a place like Charlotte, it's gonna be much harder to get away with that. So yeah. I've been hearing about the three cities of cities of Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill being on the come up in NC. Have you been out there any since being in NC? I've been to all of them, but I don't know. To live as a young single person, I don't know. I think they're very I think they're more family friendly. I mean, I do hear they have a lot of professionals because there are a lot of universities. That's where like Duke is, that's where UNC Chapel Hill is. But I hear there's nothing to really do there. So if someone thinks Charlotte is boring, I don't know what they're going to do in Raleigh, Durham, or Chapel Hill. Yes, it's the link if I want to join. I won't be on here for that long. Lounges and live music, no clubs. YNs, lounges and live music, no clubs. Yeah, that's the thing. There's not that many lounges here. So, um, what does YN to me? Gino, yes. Okay, so yeah, Charlotte women I say are probably more intentional. Right now, they're acting like she don't get it. CLT men don't spend money. Oh man, cause see how many things you coming from. ATL hustle culture equals sugar baby finesse queens versus intentional women looking for love, not money. Is that what you mean, BP? Hmm. But why can't you look for love and demand also have money? I don't get why it has to be either or. I'll turn on. Do you plan on going to a Duke basketball game this year? Very excited. I've never been to one. It's funny. I was actually looking at their school earlier today online. I mean, I would, but Duke is not like down the street. I go to the women's South Carolina games. Um, I would go to a Duke game. I would. It's funny. I never even thought about going to like UNC or Duke game before. It's funny. I guess because it is kind of far. Where do Nigerians hang out in Charlotte? I mean, I really don't know. I wouldn't want to. I don't know. Only thing I could say maybe now there's like this spot Turenga on Moorhead, and it's like an Afro like fruit fusion. Apparently, Turenga means something in Senegal, right? And it's funny they have one in Atlanta too. My cousin was actually telling me about it this weekend. So I would say maybe check out there, but besides that, I don't know where else. I wouldn't know. YNs. Okay, he said no club chess, lounges, and live music. I really don't know. I don't know if I can help you on that one. Lounges and live music. Mm, I don't know. So maybe that's why I don't really go out like that. I mean, I don't know. And I feel like lounges, like the lounge, I mean, like, I don't know if as a guy, like you're gonna like that vibe or you're gonna feel like it's too mellow or it's too chill. Because that's the thing. You're saying live music. I don't personally know of any lounges that have live music. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so I did notice from the last video that I talked about, I did make it to the beach. I finally went to Charleston. Folly Beach was so beautiful. Went by myself. I actually did it in the day. I went to the museum first too. So yeah, like I said, I just need to become better at planning because I'm not a planner, and that can also affect your social life when you're not a planner because you can't just wait for things to happen. And certain things you can't do spontaneously. Like I've mentioned before, I'm a pretty spontaneous person. I don't really like planning too much. Um, yeah, so I got to work on that. Cigar lounges, grown folk stuff. Yeah, I don't go to cigar lounges. I don't like cigar smoke smell. But there's one up north kind of, it's called like Sticks and Beans. I never been, but I heard about it a few times. I think it's in North Lake. So that's one. I guess it's black owned, if that matters. I went to this place on Friday for the first time, me and my friend. It's really cute. It's like a little cocktail. What's the name of it? I've been wanting to go. Sneak, SNEAK CLT. It was really cute. It was really cute. Kind of small. I was shocked it wasn't as crowded on a Friday. It was a really cute spot. I like Sneak. I like Crave. I like Spice. I like the type of places I like are pretty similar. It's like a chill, laid back vibe. I know the type of places I like, they're kind of the same. What's the best part about living in Charlotte, North Carolina? I really do like being able to be in a place that has a lot of people that look like me. And I feel like that's something like, even though I came from Jersey, yeah, Jersey's pretty diverse, but down here it's like, wow, you see it a lot, even in the hospital. Like, you just work, you just see so many professionals. So I just feel like the issue, like I keep saying, is where are the young professionals, right? Like I feel like I see a lot of people like of color, but they're older, like, families, 40s, 50s, good doing big things. But I don't know where like the younger crowd hangs out. Yeah, and that's a good question. I'm not married. It's either you're single or you're married, right? So yeah. I don't like ratchet stuff. Yeah, that's my thing. I really, really don't. I really don't. I'm open. I can go anywhere. I just have to. So, and it's hard because if you don't go out a lot, then you tend to, when you go out, want to go to your same spot where you know what to expect, but you still have to take risk and try different things, which I've been trying to do. Like Friday, we went to Sneakers about Breakfast. I've never been here, and it's been open like a year. LOL, we're not ratchet-ish with my hood rider friends. Yeah, I don't like. Mm-mm. What's young professional age ranges? I would say young professional. I'm thinking like 27 to like 40, or 27 to like maybe late 30s. Like that's what I'm thinking about when I think of young professionals. That's what I'm thinking about. Like when Guzzy came in NAACP had that conference here, like it was a lot. There were a lot of young people, like people around my age. It was very nice to see that. Like we tried to go to the spot I mentioned, Tarango, on a Sunday, could not get in, packed. Like, huh? And then it just made sense. Oh, NAACP conference is this week. People were outside. Right. I think that's a good age range. Once you hit 40 on your own, 27 to 39. Yeah, like around that age group. Like, oh, so maybe someone needs to start something. What do y'all think? Something for just young professionals. Uncles are not allowed. Sorry, uncles. Y'all can maybe come to the after party. But like more mixers, more things for people to mingle and get to know each other. So how y'all starting at 20? So what age should you start at, Mrs. Young professional? We don't want kids. 22, 23, that's too young. I think that's fair. Funny when people complain about Houston spots, they say a lot of young people, they want 35, 40 and up. I'm fine with late 20s and up, no uncles. People great, yeah, and they can go to their little small kid stuff. 21, 22 is too young. I don't want to, I mean, I don't script that. That's too young. I don't feel like someone in their 30s wants to be around someone that's 21, 22. I feel like it's too young. South Park is cool. I think it's a good area. You're not too far from things, but it's just very, just keep in mind things close early. I mean, that's kind of everywhere in Charlotte. Um, kind of the demographics a bit older, but I think South Park is good because you get away from all the noise and you're still close to Uptown. In Gus's life, we're just seeing that it's not too young for young professionals. We want young, for not young professionals. Okay, maybe 25. let's say 25 to 40 or 25 to 39. Maybe the issue is that we shouldn't even be in the age group. That's the problem. And we trying to hate on the young people. Maybe that's the problem. 25 to what? 25 to 39? Where the girls who are 18 to 24 be at in Charlotte? Why do you, Gina, why are you asking that? Because I don't think you're 18 to 24. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even go out like that. So I can't even but I think if you do more like club stuff, you're gonna see the young people. Good. Gino bye, right? Gino bye. I know it's about 18, 24. I wouldn't know. Maybe a college party. Might want to check there. Might want to check college parties. Okay. So I'm gonna round up since nobody wants to join. My thoughts on living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 5 years. So if you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, I say give it a shot. As long as you have expectations that are realistic and you understand you're coming to a very small city. So if you don't want a small city, don't move here. Just as that simple. If you don't want to be in a small place, don't move here because Charlotte's very small. So I'll give you, like I told you earlier in the live, that if I have to drive 15 minutes, I think it's far. Some people laugh at that, you know? So don't move to Charlotte if you want a big city. Now I'm an old head. We like that age range. Why? Because they're naive and y'all could. Mm. Justina, I love South Park. Yeah, South Park is cool. I would live in South Park. Um, Gino, no more talking things. But yeah, so I'm challenging myself, to do Eventbrite more, just to get out of my comfort zone. I realized also too, um, I've been traveling a lot. It's not a lot, but I've traveled. So when I'm meeting people that far, I'm like, that's because I don't go out in Charlotte. I gotta go out where I'm from. So yeah, okay. Nguzzi's in the studio. Here we go. Hello, Nguzzi. Nice to have you on.
Hi everyone. I'm moderating. Y'all don't y'all forgive me. Y'all will see me next Tuesday, but I hope everyone is good. If you're not following us on TikTok, make sure you're following us. Nana Ngazi. I've been posting some videos recently, getting a lot of traction, and we're gonna have a topic following up a lot of responses I've been getting. I was just responded to some today, right before the live. It's been so many people talking about this topic, but I think it's important to. I didn't want to miss this point. I think it's important to understand that nowhere is perfect, right? And I think the trend I see, whether it be on Threads or on TikTok, we talk about this. A lot of people relocate because they're looking like for like a change, right? They're
Mhm.
looking for something. They're looking to, start all over again. But there's another part about you being intentional about kind of curating and building the experience that you want. And I think that's something that I feel like we can't speak on enough because I feel like a lot of times people do the first step, right? Which is a very bold step, a very brave step. I think about it all the time, like even how I just literally packed up 3 or 4 suitcases. I can't recall. Maybe it was four, moved here. Like it's not easy to start all over again, especially the older you get. Like you mentioned, if you really want to relocate, do it while you're younger. Do it while, you're not thinking too much about it because you have less to lose. You have probably less connections, you have less, it's just easier. There's no argument there, but that's part one. Then the next step is putting yourself out there. So when I make the content, a lot of people respond. People respond. I've been in Houston 5 years. I've been in Houston 4 years. I've been in Charlotte how many years? I still don't have friends. I still can't meet people. I'm trying to like go through and have conversations with these people. It's overwhelming because a lot of responses. And like, what are you doing to meet people? I'm a homebody. I just stay home. I don't really do much. I don't really know people. And I feel like no matter how great of a city you move to, if you don't know people, you have to stress this. If you don't really have friends and you're not really social, you're not going to really enjoy the city. And this is coming from somewhere like I always say, I go out, I can go out by myself. I've been to the club by myself. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not like someone who can't go out with the people. Like, I'm someone who's can really move. But I went out yesterday by myself. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was in
Oh, okay.
Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I went out yesterday by myself. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not someone who, like, if I want to do something and people can't come, I'm not going to do it. But that's still not to say how important, like, your community is.
Mhm.
Justina actually sent in the group. I don't know if you caught it. I think we'll play it in our next live. This clip, a lady was talking about how having communities is like you got to be ready to be inconvenienced. Like it's you got to be ready to be kind of uncomfortable, like kind of like it's like a sacrifice. It's you have to put kind of be. It's not going to come easy. Like a lot of people don't have community or they don't have friends because they're not really ready to be inconvenienced to some capacity. Like ready
Mhm.
to do stuff when you don't want to, go to meetings when you're tired, reach out to people you don't want to. You know, make time for people. Like it's a lot of effort. So just following up on this point, you know, congrats on your 5 years. But I do think that no matter where you go, and of course, all places aren't equal. Like we,
Ngozi, Ngozi, was that authentic? Congrats on your 5 years.
yeah, congrats. No matter, Genius and Crush, our own age for us only better, feel better and gutsy. Relocating is also part of folks' personality. You have to be social. Thank you. No, no, we getting off your the 18 to 24 range because we don't want to get you in trouble. But it's the truth. Like I always say in life, what they say, the worst lies are the lies you tell yourself. You have
Yep.
to know yourself. Okay, there's things that someone come and tell me saying, "I can't do that." I know myself. I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna be too late. This not gonna work out. I know myself. I know my shortcomings. I know the areas that I struggle with. I won't sit here and lie to myself. The worst lies we tell are the lies we tell ourselves. So you have to really, if you're trying to relocate to a new city, like you have to know what you're looking for in a city. Like we said, if you're trying to be events and social, tomorrow we signed up for the FIFA World Cup tickets. They're having games in Houston next summer in July. It's like a lottery system. One thing I could always say about Houston is that we got a lot going on.
Same thing with
There's
Atlanta.
always, yeah,
Some
like Atlanta. We always, you know, Charlotte's
many
cute.
events.
It's always something going on. Black NBA conference end of the month. Sheena has sent that to me, but I already had a bookmark. Thank you for looking out, girl. That's end of the month. We what's happening in October? Afrotech is coming
Afro
October. I
tag.
was about to talk about before people say I didn't tell it this year, October 27th to the 31st. You know, we always have things happening, whether it's a
Charlotte will
concert,
never have
whether
that
it's an artist, whether
happening.
it's, you know what I mean? If people are limited to where they can come, they're going to come to Houston before they come to Charlotte, 9 times out of 10. That's just the reality, right? So you have to know yourself and know what's important to you. We mentioned the spots. I know someone BP. Hey, I mentioned like cigar lounges. Like in Houston, we have a lot of those. You know, Urban Smoke. I was invited to a date in one of those. Remember my story, our story that the guy got blocked. But we have a lot of those type of stuff. And I've been even thinking to myself when I think of some of the popular places in Houston. Bar 5015. I haven't been there in over 2 years. Prospect Park. This month is 2 years I've been there. Like I'm thinking to myself, like I need to be going out more because I feel like I don't even take advantage of being such in a big city and having so many things around me because I'm just so used to it and I feel like I could always go. And also not to be sedity or anything, but I'm kind of picky on the type of place I go to. I don't like ratchet stuff. That's really my thing. So I feel like as I'm getting older, I feel like I like Nana talked about I like more of that mellow. I like all of those chills. No,
Stop.
Justina, stop it. Not
NAACP coming this year was a big deal. Conferences don't come to Charlotte like that. They don't. They don't.
like so there's I just feel like I like more chill stuff. I don't really be liking the rah rah rah. Like I don't really like I could do it here and there. Someone's birthday is fun, but I like more I don't need to be on the 40 plus. I'm not 40 or anything close to that yet. But like I know that like I mentioned a lot of comments people complain about, oh, there's too many young people. I don't have an issue being around young people if they're mature,
Thank you.
and they're not like dressing crazy. The girls are not half naked. The men are not wearing do rags out. Like I don't have an issue with. Like that's not really my thing. Like my thing is more about with age. Of course, usually your interests and your tastes
The
and
vibe.
what you like is a bit different, right? Like a younger crowd may be into more. They just came out of college. They may be into certain things or like certain music
Or
that
getting
I'm.
drunk, crazy drunk.
Yeah, like that I'm not into, but I'm not someone that feels like I have to be with all people who are 30 plus. No, I could be with 20-year-olds. Like I don't even want to be around older people like that. Like I'm good. But I think it just really comes down to knowing yourself and understanding like the city is a factor. Like I'm bringing up Houston, we talk about Charlotte, but of course I live in Houston. I'm bringing up Houston because it's not fair to make it seem as if it's just you as a person.
Mhm.
Because no, like it's also where you are. Like I know the effort I put in New Jersey to try and be social and putting in that same effort in Houston is a very different experience.
Right.
Like it's very different. I'm in a major city. There's so much to do. There's so many people. Meeting people is not as hard. And then I talked about people being on a trip and people being offended about Jersey. Jersey is great for families. But for a single person, someone not even just for dating, just socially trying to meet people, it was very challenging being in a place like New Jersey. In New Jersey, the state is not a city. We compare Charlotte's a city. Houston's a city. These are cities. compared to a whole state. So that even to begin with is not a fair comparison, right? But I think you just have to really be real with yourself. We talk all the time, don't move somewhere talking about dating or men or getting married. Like everywhere is there's challenges everywhere. Where you're moving to, the women are struggling as well. Of course, like I say again, of course, there's certain places that may be a little bit more challenging than others. I agree with that. There are some places where it's just socially more challenging to meet people in general. So I can understand why that could kind of translate into dating, because part of dating, which people sometimes want to ignore, is like the social aspect. Like you need to be able to just go out and just, if you're not trying to do all these apps and stuff, you got to be able to go out and mingle and meet people in general, just overall go somewhere you can see like-minded people, and in certain places it's harder than others. But it's just interesting to see how the people really struggle once they move to a new city. And I don't know, and I'm thinking of, the gap, like what type of service, if possible, could be provided. But a lot of people really struggle when relocating
It's
in terms of
community. That's what it
building community, yeah, and meeting people and really making friends. You know what I mean? And I see people who move and really are able to do it kind of seamlessly. And I think when I think about the major differences, it is personality and it is intentionality. So you just have to really be intentional. Yeah, I'll stay in the background. I'll stay on the background for now. I'll go on mute, but yeah, I know y'all miss me. I'm here.
Mia said, do y'all think people sometimes have a hard time meeting people because they are not self-aware, the way they present themselves, attitude, looks, personality, etc.? Yeah, like I've had people tell me I'm standoffish, but I'm not complaining that I want to meet people, right? So like I guess it's a bit different, but me, I don't think that's the main thing. I think the number one thing is that a lot of people just don't do anything. I think the main thing is that they literally just go to work. Maybe on Sunday they go to church, go to grocery store and come home. Like they're not socializing.
I agree, and we're habits of
Yeah.
creature. We're creatures of habits. Excuse my English, right? So I feel like a lot of times people don't realize that you do certain things, you just get so used to it. So it's hard, especially as we get older. That's why even with dating, so I don't like dating men past a certain age, because habits are hard to break. So
Mhm.
when you're used to just going out, coming in, oh, I know I should be doing more, but I'm just so used to. It's hard. It's hard to break that routine. Like you really have to like be like, okay, I'm gonna dress up, look cute, right after work, go to happy hour, right after work, all that. Once you come home, I can say,
Go
at
to
least for me, it's over, right? It's over. Like I say, you have to set yourself up for success, right? So I think that people maybe sometimes I think they are aware, they know what to do. Most times in life, losing weight, all that stuff, you know what to do. The issue is doing it. That could be the hard part, implementing it. So I think a lot of, from what I've seen in the comments I get and type of responses, I think a lot of people just don't go out. You know, one of our friends say get off the couch, had a 4 hour live. Like a lot of people just don't go out. Like they really are not like. Because I don't even to be honest, I feel like I'm talking to my friends. I'm like I'm kind of introverted. Like I wouldn't call myself like a full extrovert. Like I'm always like no. I just feel like I'm sociable. But I'm not someone who's always out or always needs to be around people. I could really be by myself. I could like today I didn't leave my apartment. Like I could stay in for days. Like I can really be alone. But then I meet certain people, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not introverted. Maybe I'm just like I think I'm like a mix. I think I'm a blend, because I meet certain people. I'm like, yeah, this is what they really call like introverted. Like this is really what like not going out looks like. Because like I just mentioned spots and places, and like I don't like I go out, but I don't feel like I'm someone who's always out.
I go out a lot. Mhm.
Well, yeah, like I feel like I don't even go out enough. I don't feel like I'm someone, especially being in a city like Houston, when you meet people and they're like, and I think the issue that people think like going out has to just be like club or like partying. Like that's not like this. Going out is just going out and doing something social and like being around people. It don't have to be like anything crazy, loud music, ratchet. It don't have to be that type of going out. That's going out, but that's not the only type of going out. And I feel like sometimes, especially when you talk about major cities like Houston, Atlanta, I feel like certain people make it seem like that's all there is to do. And yes, that's a big part of the culture. Those are major cities. I'm not going to ignore that. But there's so much more to do.
There's so much more, but the difference is those major cities that you can do the most basic stuff and still get a vibe. Like
Yes,
when you do the mall,
yes.
Atlanta is not
That's
the
what
same
you
thing.
literally, when you talk about going out, that's really what people want. They want to vibe.
They want the vibe. Charlotte, it's kind of hard to get a vibe. I'm not gonna lie.
Remember the mall in Atlanta when I was dancing, acting
Yeah,
wild?
like we
I
the
literally
North.
just going to the mall, they're playing music, we lit,
Yeah,
we dancing in the mall.
like it's a vibe. It's an environment that like literally, even if you want to be boring, the vibe makes you want to be excited.
Yeah,
Like the
I got to book my Atlanta. I'm so tired. I got to book my Atlanta. I can't
anyway,
not go to Atlanta
Mia,
this year.
Mia, this question we were gonna round up here. Of course. Do y'all think technology has made it hard to meet people in person versus years ago? People's also we're living in a generation where a lot of people literally wake up on in the morning, the phone is here. In the morning, the
I
phone is
don't
here.
like it. I do slow morning, so they none of even be she be triggered. I be
This
triggering
is
people.
another level. She'll reply your text at 1 p.m.
Nah, like between 10 and 11. Then she
But
be
like,
triggered for
I
my
think
slow
it's
mornings.
such a society that I feel like it's also why a lot of people are claiming social anxiety or claiming because people don't have social skills.
They're not living in a. We're not living in a natural
Remote
way.
work, you
Yeah.
have remote work where you can be rigid and you don't have people around you telling you, I don't like how you can't really do that. Or you shouldn't really do things like this. Like I feel like the way this remote work plus social media plus all is making people just weird. It's making us weird. Like it's not so now it's like, okay, I'm bored and I'm lonely, but I don't really feel like going out. Let me just go sit at home and be on Instagram for 3 hours and feel like I'm doing something I'm in people's life. And then sometimes you don't realize that the more you're sitting there scrolling on Instagram, watching people's lives, it's making you feel even more depressed.
It makes you feel lonelier.
It makes you feel lonelier, right? Because it's just, yeah, definitely. I think social technology is part of it. Um, I agree. Your energy play a big part. People can feel good energy and bad energy. I think technology has made people not want to put in the physical efforts to meet in person. You can just wipe the crust out of your eye and be decent and log on. Exactly. People are so accessible, so it's affecting relationships too, obviously, because that's part of meeting people. Not, every day talk about networking, friendships, relationships. Human beings are too accessible these days. Like, go to my DM. Most people in my DM are from other countries. I don't answer them. Like, I'm not interested. Like, people are so you can sit on your phone, on your computer in a whole nother country and have access to girls in Houston, Texas. The access. So now I also think because of that access, it makes us take each other for granted. We really start to take people for granted and like we're just I mean, I don't think we're a lost cause, but I do definitely agree that our it's the way we are living. It's the way we're living. I think it's increased the loneliness, all of that's increasing the mental health concerns, the health concerns. Like it's all correlated. It's all correlated. Social media is not bad. I don't feel like it's something, but even when I go to work, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, like people just be there. Like, and I'm not saying like I don't use the phone, right? I'm not an angel, but when I see how much other people use social media, I'm just like, wow, you're not an influencer. Why are you on social media 6 hours a day? You're not getting paid. If you took half of that 6 hours, let's say you took 3 hours and used that to engage in social activities, you would have the social connection you're looking for, right? So we also have to be accountable and stop blaming cities, stop blaming this, stop blaming that. We have to do our part. We have to put in the work. It can be irritating though. I was going to the gym. It was weird how folks would interact with me. I'd be wanting to say, I don't have time for conversation. That either means you have good energy, you're really nice looking, you can dress good, or all three. Technology should make it easier to find friends. That's a good point, right? That's true. I got invited to a lot of meet and greets from Facebook groups. They be getting out and having events. I always get invited to stuff. That's true. So you can't always look at the negative part. You can also use these things to your advantage. Mia Chica, I let myself go. I just don't put on the stage. I'm trying to be invisible. I just turns out. Mia, why is it so hard for grown people to do things by themselves? Because it's weird. I mean, I can do it, but I want to admit, like, right, especially when it's late, like right now, let's we get off this live, like, I put a little makeup on, it's almost 9 o'clock. Like, I don't really want to go out by myself. I mean, if it was earlier, maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of strange. I think it depends on what you're doing. I think people feel embarrassed if you really want to ask me. I think people feel
I
embarrassed.
get it, but I also feel like it's embarrassing to wait for people to live your life. Like I feel like it depends on how you're looking at it. Like I get it, there's certain place things of course are not gonna be as comfortable, but if you are a single unmarried person, you gotta be okay with living your life by yourself to some capacity. Because you know what I mean? Like I get it, and there's a reason why people have partners, and a reason why people want to get married. They want to share their life with someone, right? But until that time, if you really want to do stuff, are you going to really keep holding stuff back, holding stuff off because you don't have anyone? I just feel like I get it, but I think it's kind of immature. I get it. Trust me, I understand the concept. I understand, especially certain places, certain things. But I think it is kind of an immature way of thinking, because I just feel like you can't stop your life because you don't have people to do stuff
But
with.
why are you saying they're stopping their life? Who told you they're stopping their
No, I
life?
mean like that people are like, oh, I want to do this, but I didn't have anyone to go with, so I didn't go. I know people like, oh, I wanted to do this, I didn't even want to go to somewhere, so I end up not going. It's like you want to do something you want to do, but you're not going to do it because you don't have no one to do it with. Like to me, that's kind of weird. But I get it. I understand why people do that. But I said part of getting older, being an adult, and understanding that like life waits for no one, right? And if you want to do certain things and you don't have people to do it with, until you find those people, there's certain things I personally feel like you should be okay doing by yourself until you find those people. It doesn't mean that if you have friends, go and be running around by yourself. I'm not promoting antisocial behavior. I'm
Right.
not promoting doing stuff by yourself. But there are certain things that if you truly want to do, that I just don't think you shouldn't do because you don't have no one to do it with. Like I just feel like that's a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like that doesn't really make sense.
Hey, Russell. Thank you so much
Hi,
for
Russell. Long time. Hope you're good. Are you still in? Where's Russell? Is he in DMV?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta.
Access doesn't equal success. That's true, because even with all this access we're screwing about, we're still hearing that men are the loneliest they've ever been. Even
And
with
the
all
apps, people hate the apps. Even though it's access, I say all the time, I'm not online. I'm not gonna lie, people. I get why people are online, but the reality, what I always say about like these apps and stuff like that, is that it's accessible and makes things easier. It gives people more
but it's not
options,
real
but we
connection.
know human beings don't necessarily do better with more options. We know that, and it takes away that I guess that intimate, like that connection that you can make with someone in the physical, like when you physically see them. We get why people use them. We understand. I'm not gonna sit here and knock it, but I still feel as if it's not it's not the solution. If you ask me, like I still feel like there is value in doing stuff just period in real life, meeting people in real life, going out. Like we say, going out is not always to meet a man. It's networking. It's to meet people. It's to see what's happening, to understand your environment, see how your city is changing. Like yeah, we just have to try. I know things are getting more expensive. We got to find, affordable things to do, things that are not always centered around eating and partying, because, that can add up. And we're not trying to always do those things. Even just walking around in your city, when the temperature, that's the thing I can say about Charlotte. Y'all really have like 4 seasons. Like, y'all may not snow, but it gets cold there, right? Same thing with Atlanta. So as the temperature is dropping, and we're in fall, we're about to be in fall, my favorite season. There's so much to do with
Charlotte's
nature.
67 degrees right now.
Yeah, with nature and all of that, I feel like it just comes down to, like you said, being intentional, finding out, go on Eventbrite, Google things, save stuff, bookmark. There's so much happening in your city. You
Or
just have to.
find a church that does like this week. I joined 6 groups for union. I mean, I'm gonna leave 3 of them at least, but I just got excited because I saw so many that interest me. But like also too, like for example, if you're in Charlotte area, you want, it could be through your church, it could be through your
Mhm.
job. Like I'm gonna volunteer this month through my job. Like you have to just. I know it gets hard, but at the same time, I keep saying we just got to do the work. No matter where you go, you have to do the work. You have to do the work, or you're gonna have probably not the greatest experience. Hey, okay, Russell. Yes, I knew it was Atlanta. I was there this weekend. I was outside. I was only there for 24 hours, but it was fun even in that 24 hours. I'm like, huh. I think there's a reason why God didn't let me move to Atlanta. I always say that. If men are lonely, it's their own fault because they don't know how to talk to women. Social media made it way easier for me, but I had skills of the game since my
You
teens.
missed his other comment.
Find a place you can go and be regular, have fun, and get in the zone or flow. Be accessible and consistently focus on exposure. Oh, he missed. Okay, I'm 6'2". Did I answer that?
No. he didn't.
Um, yeah. You are right. A lot of men don't have a mouthpiece anymore. They became weirdos and act like females. But a lot of them that I talk to say it's because of, some of them will blame me too.
That's
So
not true. I don't know Gino because you be following a lot of people. Do you follow Psychax? I'm shouting him out. He's a psychologist. He has really good content on intersexual relationships, and he was on a Diary of a CEO a couple months ago. I've been following him for a while, and he's really blowing up. And he mentioned this in the clip, and like guys talking about he too me afraid to approach women. He said the biggest issue he thinks men have is that they don't go out there and really talk to women like they used to. So they're not used to like rejection the way like in his generation men had to just be used to like, okay, a woman may ignore you. Like the worst she'll do is ignore you. The worst she'll do is roll her eyes. Like it's like a lot of men have to get more comfortable with like
so
going in the wild. Like there's a term he used because he has a video on the only 4 ways you can meet a woman. And it applies to men as well. In the wild, on apps, through someone on social media. So I don't know, Gino, if you have, I think you'd really enjoy his content, Psych Hacks, 'cause from your line of thinking, the type of things you be talking about, he be going in. Yeah, so check him out. But it's true, I think a lot of people in general, but men, because we're talking about this topic, people are just losing their social skills, and it's because they're not using it as much, right? Like it's atrophy. If you don't, you use it or you lose it.
Mm.
So that's with anything in life, but it's really never that deep. Like honestly, life is too short. You just have to live your life and do what makes you happy and stop thinking about the what ifs when it comes to anything. That's why I'm bringing up the whole moving to a new city, meeting people, shooting your shot. People have shot their shot with me, and I've shot my shot with people. Like you see someone, you go on social media, you like the way they carry themselves, you like their profile, they live in your city, send them a message. Oh hey, I think da 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 or whatever. People are doing it in my TikTok posts. People are connecting in my TikTok posts. Like, dude, hey, you want to meet up? Hey, girl, yeah, I'm about to DM you in my TikTok post. People, I saw it with my eyes connecting, like that, and that's why I always say I don't really believe in like a place to meet people, whether it's a man or a woman. You just have to have an open mind. You
Mm.
you just have to have an open mind. People are everywhere. You just have to put yourself out there. Like I said, the biggest thing is admitting you need friends. You got to go out and be open and vulnerable. Like I'm looking for friends. Like it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, you're looking for a partner. You have to be kind of open that you're looking for a partner. Tell people in your social circle. So I always say for men, I really don't get it because I get it. Watching more content, like these psych hacks and stuff has made me understand things more from a male perspective because I could be honest, growing up, you just feel like men have it so easy. There's so many women. Maybe every man is not like Gino who has the game since his teens. People have different experiences, right? But I always just feel like it's not that hard. But I think a big part of it is just, mindset and really just being able to take those risks and put yourself out there. It really and really think about like what's the worst thing that can happen. A person won't respond, they'll ignore me. Okay, and
Mhm.
then life moves on. It's really not the end of the world. Like it really is not that deep.
Good one, Gino. Eventbrite, I went on it yesterday, but find free stuff to do: the park, the zoo, join run clubs, Mad Miles for people in Charlotte, join social groups, find munch groups, church, like I said, church, a lot of groups at church, look up activities in your city, find free stuff for social groups. You need exposure. To be honest, a lot of guys back in the 90s who were incels too. They was the biggest haters, but there were more players back then. Only 20% of us was getting a gang of chicks. And Guzzy
So
knows
what's
what.
the percentage now, Gino? How many men are getting the gangs of How many?
Yeah, all y'all friends in cities. So I think, well, I don't have that many friends, but the people that I even like acquaintances, a lot of people I actually met quite a few people social media, like Ngozi said, like a couple people have DM'd me, but I think that's also
Same.
because of the platform.
Church. Yeah,
Church,
church. Maybe reconnecting with people we went to like college or stuff like that. Are also moving to the
yeah, yeah,
city because I
connect.
think a lot of people reconnecting with like older people that you may have known but you weren't as close with because that's a part. A lot of people are moving as well, like people in your social circles. And yeah, going out, like I say all the time,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
going out. That's how I'm telling you. I be telling girl. I know a
we
lot of
made
women are
friends
very
from the streets for
a lot
sure.
of women are so male focused, and it's not to say we're not male focused. Men are important. We love men. Blah blah blah. We're not talking about decentering men, but I just feel like when you go out and like some women feel like, oh, if I go out and I don't get a number, it's a waste of my time. No, like you can meet your next best friend. You can meet your next close friend. You can meet a business partner. You can meet someone who's gonna change your life. You can meet someone who's gonna give you an idea. Like going out is not about just meeting men.
Yeah.
We need to stop that. Like it's very annoying. Like like going out is not about just meeting men. Have an open mind. Like go out to just see something new. Have a new experience. Put yourself out there. Look cute.
Period.
Network. It's not about, oh, if I don't get a number, no, oh my God, it's a waste. No, I'm not gonna lie, I used to think that in my 20s, maybe mid 20s, late 20s, and then I'm like, no, like I'm going out to have a good time. I'm not going out for men. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're gonna wrap up in a minute, but I think the issue social media is showing us how dudes always was. 80% of men never really was good at getting girls, even back in the day. A lot of guys were soft back in the day too. Nothing changed. It's still about 20%, but now women can see and hear about it on social media. It's news now because of the declining birth rate.
That's a good point, Junior, because I'm going back to my point I was saying earlier. It wasn't until I started watching a lot of like male content, I didn't realize how the average man not struggles, but it's not as easy as I thought when it
Right.
comes to dating relationships. Like I just feel like I maybe because it's anecdotal, right? I know so many good women. I know so many women who are looking for
Oh,
partnership,
women,
looking
you
for
think
marriage,
are good. You
or
don't know.
think are good. Yeah, because they may not be good partners, but they're good friends. They're good women. They have morals at least. They have integrity. So you always feel like for men, like it's so easy. But then
Right.
remember, like they always say, most women don't want. They want the same group of men, small group of men. So if those men are not in that, that group, they don't have the money, they don't have the looks, they're not attractive. I can see now why, it could be a bit of a struggle for them.
Yeah, I did see that. We're actually talking about our work today, and I saw it on the news real quick on ABC World News. Really, really sad. How have your personalities changed since moving to your cities? I think moving definitely made me have to step out of my comfort zone, and it actually made me. Because I think about my personality, but I feel like I've always kind of been the same. Like I don't think I've changed much. What I definitely could say is moving made me realize a lot of things about myself that I had to work on, being by myself. And I think I became more bold since I've moved. That's
Bold
me,
in the sense of what?
like standing up for myself. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I've always been, I guess, I don't know the word I'm trying to use, assertive, but I do feel like I still struggled with some people pleasing. Like I still struggled with some caring a lot, caring, and still living at home, you still have that culture effect. You caring what people think or caring what people say. And I just feel like the older I've gotten and living here, like I don't even be caring no more. Like whatever. How do you meet same-sex platonic friends as girls? I think we mentioned that. We said online, church, the streets, and like reconnecting with old friends who have moved to the city.
You didn't let me answer Mia's question in terms of how moving to a new city has changed me. Um, I know there's a quote. Is it Dave Ramsey or someone says like money makes you more of who you are. It doesn't change you, it makes you more of who you are. Me and my sister argue about it all the time because I agree with it, but I also think that money can also still change you. I think that's kind of how I feel. I can apply that like to moving to a new city. Like I feel as if like you're kind of always the same person, but certain environments could bring certain sides out of you more. It can make you more like I just feel like being in a bigger city with more things to do, I was just able to just do certain things that I wasn't able to do back home, like explore certain things, kind of be more social. Because when I think back to even being in Jersey, like the groups I saw and these things like that, I was always kind of social, but it's just like it was just very hard for me to meet people. And, like there wasn't that much to do, so I feel like I feel like when I even really started going out by myself properly because it was like I can't just sit here all the time and be at home. Like I'm gonna lose my mind. So I think moving to a big city like Houston just gave me the opportunity to really explore and like go out there and see things. And I feel like that was always something I was kind of trying to do, but I didn't have the opportunity. So yeah, that's my
Do
answer to Mia's question.
do you feel safe in Charlotte? Yes, I do feel safe. The average guys were haters, and even in my 30s and 40s, dudes be hating or money, looks, personality, playing a rich talking someone with zero game and no girls playing matchmaking. No, it's true. It's true. I see that. Hey, Anya, being from NJ, how have you dealt with being away from family? Okay, I think for me, I moved during the whole pandemic stuff that was going on. So I already felt kind of isolated. So I feel like it kind of made moving easier because I wasn't going to church anymore. My job had shut down. Like, it was so many factors. And actually, the house is crowded. So I even wanted my space. But as time progresses and things have returned to kind of a new normal, you feel it, right? Because every holiday, I'm not going to travel to Jersey, right? Every time I'm off, I'm not going to travel. That's just exhausting. So I think that's why recently the thought of possibly one day moving to Jersey has come up because it's like, how long are you going to realistically want to be away from family? Like, let's be honest, like whether it's in Jersey or maybe moving to Houston, because everyone knows on channel, I don't care about Houston. Like, I don't really care about anywhere, but I don't particularly care much about living in Houston. But it would just make sense because Nguzzi's there. Right? Just
And
the
other extended families there.
right.
Yeah.
It's just what makes the most sense. Same thing. Like I don't really care to move back to New Jersey. I don't want to be in the cold. I'm cold. I used my heat yesterday morning in Charlotte. It was
I
50
can't believe you're already using heat. That's
so like
crazy.
imagine like I really don't like the cold. I don't but end of the day, like just somehow ended up back in New Jersey would just make sense. Right. So the older you get, you just realize sometimes you don't do what you necessarily care about, you do what makes sense. right? Like
I think that makes
to
sense.
you factor everything into it. So that's the reason why I don't think I'll be miserable in Houston. Of course not, because I'm not miserable in Charlotte. Like anywhere, if you put me in any decent city, I think I'm going to be fine. But the biggest
Right.
issue with some of these is all that driving. Like I'm just, oh, like Atlanta, like oh my goodness, these big cities, everything's just so spread apart. And then God forbid you leave the real city to go to like the metro.
Oh, start going to the suburbs. You could drive 2 hours,
Oh,
2 hours with traffic. I think I think for me, the in terms of being away with family, I think it's hard. Like Nana mentioned, especially when it comes to holidays when you really feel it. And I think that that's also part of like I feel like you won't feel it as much though when you have your own family. So I feel like it's more of a it's more of it's more of a challenge when you're not partner yet, or let's say maybe you're not married. But I feel like once you get to that point and you have your own family, it won't be the same. So I definitely understand why people want. Like we say it all the time. I don't recommend moving to a city where you don't know any people, when you don't have any friends, you don't have any family, because it definitely gets. I won't even sit here and lie to you. It gets lonely. Like it's not something to glamorize. Like we talked about personality earlier, it's not for everyone. Like you have to know yourself before you start jumping around. You want to, one lady put in a TikTok comment and says she travels to relocate to a new city every like couple years. I'm like, are you in your 20s? She's like, no, I'm 41. I was like, oh, like some people can do it. You know what I mean? Some people they have the personality. For me, that I just
do
that
you
thought
think
of that
that's
just gives me
normal?
anxiety.
Is that
I
normal?
I don't know. The thought of that alone just gives me a lot of anxiety, but people do it, so you have to know yourself. Some people don't care for family. Some people don't care for, you know what I mean? Let's be real. Let's be honest. They don't care. Like they're not into that. So I think that's my biggest thing. Why I always talk about even potentially going to Jersey because my family's from there. You know what I mean? Like I think that it can get it can get lonely for sure. And you have to, and that's even more of a reason why building community is even more important
Yep. Yep.
because you're not in your comfort zone. So even
Mhm.
for, you know what I mean? You're not in your place where you have your mom, you have your dad, you have your siblings. So God forbid anything happen or you have a challenge or you want to go out, it's these people that you're around that can even possibly do more for you than the people that you're blood related to who are far from you. Like, are they going to be flying out, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not close to you, they're not proximate. So I feel like when you move somewhere new or you move to a new city, or a new place, a new state, a new country, that's why building community is even more important because you just can't run to your comfort zone. You don't
Mhm.
have your people. You're not in a place where you don't really have to have friends like that. But I have my mom, I have my sister, I have my cousins. I'll be fine. But if you move to a whole new place and then you don't really have friends like that, you don't really know people, you're not really gonna have a good experience. I'm telling you. Like I would highly not suggest it.
Okay. I agree. So we're gonna round up. I've lived in Atlanta, Houston, and now I'm moving to Charlotte because the city seems safe and the beauty of the city of Charlotte is captivating. It felt to me, Atlanta, Houston, moving to Charlotte. It's definitely gonna be different, but if you want something smaller, I think you made a little bit calmer. You might have made the right decision. It's crime and deletion everywhere. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, where sex work from the north side is bad. Yeah, Charlotte does have some, just, it was very unfortunate. Like, what happened with, it's really unfortunate. We were talking about it today at work, but
I'm sure. Are you the one that you say you lived in Houston, you moved into Charlotte, that Houston was crazy? Are you the one that made the comment about that? Because I referenced the subscriber that talked about it earlier in the show. I'm curious if that's you.
Yes, I agree. Crime is everywhere. Just wanted to know her thoughts on CLC specifically as a single woman. That's the reason why I always tell people where you move is so important. Stop looking at just price range because usually we know how that goes, right? The cheaper areas are usually in unsafe neighborhoods. That's just a reality. Yeah, here and there you might get lucky. It is what it is, but your safety really comes first, especially as a woman living alone. So that's why I just say don't try to cut too many corners when it comes to pricing, because usually, in most cases, you get what you pay for. You really, really have to be careful.
Right. I was just thinking about the other day why men be living like anywhere. Like I've noticed like men are more they're more likely to like live like in like rougher neighborhoods. Like they don't really care as much about neighborhood or like how an apartment looks compared to women. But it kind of makes sense because on average they can defend themselves more, right? Like safety is not as after you mentioned being like a single woman living by yourself, I feel like safety is more of a priority for women than it is for men. You
Yeah,
know, 'cause we're
uptown that's supposedly, still be careful with the uptown, the south ends, the plaza, very gentrified. So
Mhm.
even though you're going to be in an area that's like nice luxury apartments, like some of those areas are really bad. So just because you're going to be in those prime areas doesn't necessarily make it safe. So that's why I think South Park really is a good option. I can understand why, because it's like you might be more boring, whatever, but you're definitely in a safe neighborhood in South Park. Granted, things happen everywhere, but yeah. He said, "Yeah, that's me." Okay, good to know. Well, it's been sold my home and I'm dusting my hands off from Houston. Interesting.
We're gonna have you. We ending up, but next week Tuesday we're gonna make sure you here same time. I want you to join the live. Tell us about your experience because he was going in the comments about the dating scene is trash. He's going to Charlotte. Houston is this and that and that and this. I said okay, I'll let you vent, but I want to hear more about your experience next week.
But next week, what are we talking about? Is it gonna be talking about Houston? I actually kind of want to go in Atlanta, but we'll see.
I mean, he's lived in Atlanta too, so he's been around. But yeah, just make sure you all join. Don't forget to super chat if you want to see us more often. These lives is not easy. YouTube, the platform is changing, the algorithm. Let us know you appreciate us. Gino, I'm still waiting for your super chat. And no amount is too small. Hit the like button, share this video. Let's get in the algorithm. Let's get the channel back up. So, we've been gone for a little. Things have been happening. We're trying to get, back to the lives, and we need your support to keep us ginger, to keep doing what we're doing. So we will see you all next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. No,
Wait,
7 p.m.
Hangasa, what do you think about us doing it on Sundays? You don't think Sundays?
Sunday's a hard day. Time wise, Sunday's hard. I think we discussed week is better. I think nothing happens on Tuesdays better. Sundays is football season. There's a lot going on. But yeah, so we'll see you all next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m.
Look like Chino
Eastern.
said. Look what Chino said.
Oh, nice. Okay, be careful because you can't be talking like that. She gonna be watching this, so we don't. Houston, Atlanta, I'm sure is easy, but the infection rate scare. You need prep to. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta lean on God and close your legs. But it's just it's a lot going on. Like I said, there's pros and cons. One of the last videos I talk about mid-sized cities. I think we need to be paying more attention to those. That they have a lot to offer. I know everybody wants to go to the big cities, but it's not always the best option depending on what you're looking for. But yeah, we will see you all next week. Like, share, super chat, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining. Bye.